How we doing?
Yay! I don't know why. It feels like it's been way longer.
It does. All right. Lots. You say that, and a lot has changed since our last recording. Clearly, we got the wall. So this was a bitch to put up.
Yeah. We don't want to hear shit, all right?
Yeah, we don't want to hear nothing. So slowly we're gonna be adding stuff to this wall. We got the kind of our feature whiteboard in the middle where we're gonna be putting our trivia standings and some other board bets that we have throughout the year. Actually, we have a lot more than just ones that we talked
with our
about.
league mates.
Yeah, recently we had a couple buddies over on Friday, so we just decided to put one up there, repping my boy Gare Bear versus Lad, a fantasy finish. So
we got to get one between us up there soon.
Yeah, for sure. Staying on brand there.
Maybe on the show.
Yeah. Definitely as we go, we're going to get some for sure. So we're back with another fantasy episode. This time we're going to talk about rankings. So fun stuff. We've done, kind of an off-season recap. We did a mock draft last time, so we'll link that one. That was our most recent episode, so we'll link that one up top for you guys. And today we're going to be talking about quarterbacks and tight ends. And then going back to a lot has changed since we've talked last. We had a whole weekend, 3 days of preseason football. So,
yep,
a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to get right into the preseason. So instead of going through every single game, which we're kind of going to do, I'm going to give you kind of just like a couple quick headlines of each. And I want you to tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about these things that happened this weekend?
Can I hit you with like a next?
You can, something short, something sweet, just... We don't want to overreact to preseason. It's
hard not to.
Yeah, very hard not to. We had a couple friends over talking about that on Friday night, but like, how can you not, right? It's the only football that we have. We're basically craving for it at this point. We're looking for every little excuse to tell whether if someone's good or bad, especially the rookies as well. So we're starting off. Was this Thursday or Friday? It was Thursday. Baltimore,
Thursday.
And Indy. Anthony Richardson got absolutely blasted and had to leave the game on the first drive. How much do you care about that?
I don't. I will say I blame him fully for not even looking right and just reading left with a free runner on the right.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Warren looked good in his debut. 3 catches for 40 yards. He was in with the starters, and as soon as they came out, he came out.
Yep. Love that.
Yep.
I'm in on the rookie tight ends.
And then moving on to Cincinnati versus Philly. Cincinnati's played the starters a decent amount. They
finally.
Yeah. So, that's what we were thinking. But they did that as to not start out as slow as they've done over the past couple years. And then we have a note here that Bengals D is still trash.
Yeah, they let I think it's McKee or whatever the third-year quarterback.
Philly.
Did he go to Stanford? Might have went to Stanford.
That's all you.
Yeah, he just lit him up. Bengals, which is going to be great for their offense because it just means more.
Basically the same as last year.
Yeah, same.
The Raiders versus the Seahawks in a Geno revenge game. He was out there for a drive, right? Drive or two. Genty with 3 rushes for -1 yards. What's your reaction there?
You opened up the show. Don't overreact.
Okay. We're not overreacting.
Not overreacting. It's one series.
So like a 1 out of 10?
Yeah.
2?
No, it is a 1 because it's not like I expected. I mean, you got 3 carries. We see it in the regular season. We'll see first drive. I mean, it happens at King. Henry will go out there and get stuffed on the first 2 plays, and it's the same shit.
Right.
I will say that Seattle does have a good defensive front, and I mean, I think 2 of his plays were like -2 yards. So
just because of the Raiders trash line.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all for that one. Moving on. So Cleveland and Carolina. A couple of your boys in this game. Baby Bryce looked good on his first drive through a touchdown.
My other one, Shadur. That is not my boy.
I'm giving you Shadur.
Flacco's my boy over here.
So Bryce threw a touchdown on his first drive, and his first pass attempt of the game was to T. McMill. That's what we're calling him, I guess.
We might throw in Tet. Yeah, that was great to see. First pass, kind of like a. It's weird. Bryce has like, I feel like he doesn't have a strong arm, but like he kind of just floated it in there, and it was a good throw, but it seemed like it took a while to get in there. But no, I mean they looked good. I think he had a few catches, but yeah, that was their opening drive, and I think that's all. It's all Bryce played. I don't know if Tet was out there for any other drives, but no, that was good to see.
And Shadur had 2 touchdowns.
He looked good, yeah. Which I mean, I don't like seeing rookies going out there and just looking terrible. So I mean, I'm happy for him. Obviously, he's in the media. His dad and everything. His college retiring his jersey. We went like 500 there.
A lot of trash talking online from his low pick from the draft. So
yeah, he looked good though. Good for him.
Pats versus the Manders.
I was gonna throw in there. I don't know if you saw the clip, but he talked to a Cleveland radio host.
Oh, I saw that, but I didn't see what he said.
He just said, like, man, you're always saying negative stuff about me. I'm not going to talk to you until you tell me something positive about me. And he just walked away, and I was like, good for
that reminds me of Ted Lasso when the local guy's just ripping him.
I haven't seen it despite you telling me to see it.
Yeah, great show. Underrated. Actually, probably properly rated. But anyway, moving on to the Pats and the Manders.
This was a blowout.
Travion Henderson just took the first kickoff of the day right to the house.
And they were just like, all right, we've seen enough.
We have a note here that in college, that actually happened on his first attempt in college, and his last return was a touchdown in college, and now obviously his first in preseason.
Yeah.
And then, so Stevenson and Antonio Gibson had more carries than him in this game. I think it was 7 and 6 to, I think Henderson had 1.
Yeah, he only had 1.
But like you said, maybe they were just like, they saw him do his thing, get him out of there. He might see, as the season starts, as just a passing down back and see where we go from there. Because he did look small, did look quick out there. So maybe he's not like a bruiser or anything, but
he looked quick.
Yeah, looked fast for sure.
I mean, especially on the kickoff, but it's easy to look quick when you don't get touched and you blow by the punter.
And then we had a note in here from you that the Pats first round pick, Will Campbell, looked pretty good.
I like that. There was a few highlights of him just pancaking dudes. He actually, I think there was I don't know if it was a designed run, but Drake May scored a rushing touchdown, and Will Campbell just completely bullied a guy and just opened up the lane for May. And it's good to hear because he was struggling, I guess, in camp, allowing a lot of pressures off the edge. So we'll see what the passing protection looks like, but it seems like, at least in the run blocking, he looked really good in that game. So that's good to see because they spent I think it was pick 4 on him. And I mean, he was a beast in college. So it's good to see, and good for anybody wanting to see an uptick in May or the Patriots offense as a whole. So I was satisfied looking at that or seeing that.
Giants versus the Bills. So we had Jackson Dart make his preseason debut. Looked pretty good.
Also looked good, yeah.
Yep. And then my boy, James Cook. Well, he was there.
In uniform,
didn't play,
which looked like he was going out there. I think I saw the coach and the GM wanted him to play, and he went out there in warm-ups, but obviously did not play.
Right. Yeah, so we'll just, once again, keep monitoring that situation. Obviously, Cook, I mean, we've done a couple mocks now at this point, a couple one on camera, a couple offs. Yeah. I mean, he's going up there still as if nothing's wrong. So just kind of keep, as your drafts are happening in these next couple weeks, just keep an eye on him. He's sitting in like the 4th or 5th round-ish, in like standard.
Yeah, this is more, I guess, this is more your field because I haven't really done them, but I don't know. Is that good for best ball?
This could be a good value in best ball. Yeah,
I
haven't done too many drafts this year, but usually in best ball, where redraft you want to, I'd say in your first few picks, like be more safe. Not saying you don't want to do that in best ball either, but getting a guy like Rashee Rice or James Cook or Terry McLaurin, these guys that have kind of weird looking headlines where they can give you value in the back half of the year. I don't know where he's going, Cook, in underdog right now or in best ball leagues, but
I thought the same thing for our next game with Addison, because he's going to be suspended for 3 games.
Right.
It's just like he's got to be a good value for.
But yeah, just monitor that Cook situation. As it leads up to the regular season, especially like with your redrafts happening soon. Don't want to get caught holding the bag there with Cook. like you mentioned, next game, Minnesota and Houston. Jordan hasn't played in this game, so that's sick. I guess.
Playing this game, which I thought was interesting because obviously he's suspended for the first 3 regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
And then, McCarthy looked good, threw a 46-yard bomb touchdown. I think his first pass was it's kind of like a out route to Addison, made a diving catch. So I thought he looked good. It's a good sign.
Yep. No, I'm excited about McCarthy too. We play in a 2 quarterback league. I don't know if we mentioned it in that before. So he's definitely going to be a guy that has some potential, I think, with, O'Connell and Jefferson and Addison when he comes back. Like, that offense has been very quarterback friendly over the past few years. And then next we got the Bucks and the Titans and the quote unquote mid Tennessee offense. Cam Ward looked pretty comfortable though.
Yeah, like a lot of the rookie quarterbacks, or just a lot of the rookies looked good. Cam looked comfortable. He hit Ridley on a wide open pass. It was just kind of like almost looked like maybe it was zone, and Ridley just kind of snuck in the middle of the field and he hit him for like 25 yards or something like that. Yeah, he looked good. Ridley looked good. And then, on the other side, I mentioned you. I was watching a little bit of this game that was on TV. I saw the play. Rashad White had like a 12-yard rush. You could kind of see the camera kind of zoomed in on him, and he was reaching at his leg. He went out there the very next play, rushed for like 3 yards, and then just went straight to the sideline, plopped on the ground, and just was like, it did not look good. It was a groin. So we have that in there because their coach also mentioned that he wants Sean Tucker to be more involved. He said he's one of their most explosive runners. So just interesting to see. I mean, I think White's only been in the year. He's only like a 4th-year guy.
Yeah,
he's young.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a veteran, and like talking about those running backs.
Yeah,
with
because Bucky is only second.
Yeah, Bucky and Tucker.
But yeah, just for the I think that situation is just interesting because Sean Tucker, I think we saw, was it the Saints game? That I think Bucky and Tucker went over like 100 rushing yards. So
I've seen him make some explosive plays.
Tucker
before.
can easily step into that second role. And then another interesting thing I saw that was Egbuka was returning, I think, punts and kicks in that game.
Wow.
So
interesting.
I thought that was,
everyone loves this kid, by the way. I haven't seen across all channels I follow, all people that talk fantasy football. I think we're all pushing this ADP up the mountain here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see what their offense did last year, and you think he could just kind of step right in and get a piece of it.
Yep. So next we got the Jags and the Steelers.
I love our first note.
Yeah, the first one is literally, quote, Trevor almost kills BTJ.
I've been seeing it on Twitter. They're calling it a hospital ball.
Hospital ball.
So
come on, Trevor. Get
your
shit together.
And like, BTJ knew it was coming too. Like, he kind of eased up, and just it's one of the reasons why I just we've never been in on Trevor. I think some of his
come on, Trevor.
Some of his decision making just to me is just not elite. And like, he led him into a freaking, could have been an even worse situation. But I think Trevor only played that one series.
Right. Yeah, a lot of interesting headlines in this game. So obviously want to see what Trevor looks like. BTJ, he's just running out there. Travis Hunter, so he had 2 targets, 2 catches, and then I believe he played a few snaps on defense as well. So,
yeah, and he got exposed by the rookie running back, Johnson. Just like a
Caleb? Oh, like a little wheel route?
No, it was just a running play, and Travis Hunter he's like almost up near the line, and he just tried to go in for a leg tackle, and Johnson just stiff-armed him straight into the ground. Oh, yeah, he stiff-armed him straight into the ground. And I forget, Johnson might have got like 10 yards on that or something like that. But
speaking of him, he led the Steelers in carries, but there was no Jalen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell. So
Kenny G.
Not really too much to take from that. Same thing as we've been talking about. Seems like he's going to slowly take the role away from Warren. I don't see Warren as like a lead, especially like multiple down back and can last the full season. I don't think he ever.
Yeah, Warren's not a guy that I'm like, really nobody on the Steelers I'm looking at, but I do think like he's it kind of reminds me of Algier, where I feel like they're more than capable, but just like with Najee there, obviously with Bijan there,
sorry, Bijan,
but I don't know. I still don't necessarily like Warren, but I don't know if he's really gotten the full like, hey, this is your backfield.
No, never.
Najee there, so And
He's
then we
never had
did put
that.
in there, I thought this is interesting because the coach, your guy, Liam Cohen, has already mentioned he really likes, we're probably going to botch the name. I don't know how you say it.
It's
Bayshul Tootin.
Tootin'.
Tootin was scooting. He scored. So that's going to be interesting because who knows with that backfield. You got ETN. ETN did get, I believe he got the first drive with Trevor. So he was out there with the starters. But I think Bigsby and Tootin had like 7 or 8 carries. So that's
kind of a murky situation.
If you want to go into that backfield, it's just tough to decide who's going to be it. You want to say that last one?
Oh, the Cam Little 70-yard field goal, which is fucking insane. That's just he just casually just does that.
He came out and tweeted that the whatever the record is, 66
yards by Tucker, right?
Yeah, he said it won't last long.
Well, apparently not. That was damn near his first kick. Just casually walks out and
he had at least another yard or two in that too.
Yeah, that's insane. We don't play with kickers, but that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the Jets, my beloved Jets, and the Packers. We saw Fields. We didn't really have too many notes from this game because I don't think Love
did play.
Oh, he did play?
He didn't look great. He threw a overmailed. I don't know if it was Golden or what receiver it was, but he overmailed a guy. He only went like 1 for 5.
Okay. Well, no reaction to that, but Fields had a rushing touchdown.
Looked good.
I watched the highlights because, of course, I did because of Garrett Wilson, but he was kind of checking down a lot as they were moving down the field on his drive. I hit the fullback a couple times just on, nothing was open, went through his reads, just took the easy shots.
The rushing touchdown was nice, though.
Yeah, he ran in for like the 15-yard line, maybe.
He didn't panic. He actually stayed in the pocket for a little bit, checked his reads, and then he just took off. And I mean, he's fast, so he was out there. One thing to note also for that game, I told you it a little bit after the game, I think, but Jaden Reed was spotted in a walking boot.
Oh, right. We didn't put that.
So monitor that.
Yeah, if anything, well, compared this year to last year, I haven't seen Reed at all really high in these rankings compared to where he was last year. He burned a lot of people last year with multiple gooses. So yeah. I think for the Packers receiving core, I think both of us are kind of in on Tucker Craft as a deep tight end option, but we pretty much just see all these pass catchers, just how they benefit Love or not.
The rookie caught one ball.
Golden.
He caught one ball. But yeah.
Seems like it's kind of been this way for the last few years with the Packers receivers, just Russian roulette, throw one in there and hope they do well.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Dallas versus the Rams. Blake Corum had 2 touchdowns. Wasn't really much to take away from this game as well. And we have a note in here that Joe Milton has a cannon.
Yeah, I think
saw that eventually.
In his combine, he threw it like 70 yards or something like that. Or even
he was on the Pats, right, last year?
He was on the Patriots. Mm-hmm. But he also airmailed a guy just by 15 yards on like a post route. He was just, I haven't seen a lot of memes. I saw a funny one that I was going to show you where it was like, it said CD wide in the flat. And it was Aroldis Chapman. It says, "Here comes Milton throwing a 5-yard flat route."
Yeah, that'll be fun whenever, hopefully, Dak doesn't miss time. But moving on, we got the Chiefs versus your Cardinals. I'm giving you the Cardinals this year. So Kyler had a nice drive. I think he was perfect until his last pass was not perfect.
It was awful.
I watched the highlight. I still don't really know who he was throwing it to.
It was weird because his reads were clearly on the right side. And then he just looks left, sees a Chiefs linebacker or something, and just like, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's set up Mahomes' one pass.
Touchdown.
Yeah, one pass for 1 yard and a tug.
Yeah, so we have that with the exciting Cardinals. And then Trey Benson.
Another interesting one.
You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I mentioned DeMarcado because I think even last year, he might have been there a few years now. I feel like he stepped in when either Connor was out, and he can catch the ball. He was quick. He caught like a 40-something yard screen, or he caught a screen and then just took it to the house for like 40-something yards. So I don't know that pecking order. Obviously, it's Connor 1, but if Connor goes down, he's the safer bet for me. But I mean, we just hope Connor doesn't go down. We don't have to actually witness that.
Moving on to our Niners versus the Broncos. Yeah, so I think they got blown out in this game. If I don't have the scores here, but I think if I remember that correctly.
They did.
RJ Harvey, 7 carries for 25 yards, and then Audric Estime, 8 for 21. So another, and they have Dobbins as well, but I don't think he played. But so this is another one where I'd say maybe if Dobbins wasn't there, this would be a lot more clear of a picture of a backfield, because Dobbins had a great year last year, and then bringing him in along with RJ Harvey this year seems like that's going to be kind of another Jacksonville situation.
He had one run that kind of was the highlight. I think it was like 11 yards. So you take that out, he had like 6 for 14 or something like that. But it was basically stuffed in the backfield. Niners got good pressure up front, and then he just bolted outright and got like a first down for like 11 yards. So
nice.
That was good to see. This was a situation where I was more comfortable taking Dobbins actually over Harvey, but I don't mind also taking a later-ish round flyer on Harvey just because I would Dobbins injury history, and then you would think the younger guy would eventually, if he's good, which I mean they drafted him, so that's the hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got the Dolphins and the Bears. I did this while we were setting up, and there was really nothing. I think Tua played, but there was really nothing to talk about. Achane was in there.
Yeah,
They just kind of did a drive, and Caleb didn't play.
We had a busy day today.
Nothing of note.
Zach Wilson, I know, had a awful. I saw a highlight. They were in the goal line, and
shout out Zach Wilson.
Wide open touchdown. He probably missed the guy like 5 yards short at his feet.
Picking up right where we left off, and then the Saints versus the Chargers. This one I did see a couple highlights. Is it Shuck or Shaw? I think it's Shuck.
I have no idea. I just know it's
we'll vet that.
Spelled like dough.
Yeah. His first touchdown was to the other team. So he threw a pick six, and he came back out there and he threw like a 50-yard touchdown right after that. Rookie experiences, but that's pretty much.
I think actually I think he's on Miami. Rookie quarterback, the guy from Texas. I think
Ewers.
He looked awful.
Oh shoot!
I think he had like 2 fumbles.
Ewers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he looked really bad. So tough for him because he's a rookie.
Okay, yeah, but basically what we're trying to say is don't overreact to preseason. These are just games that they throw in our faces, and we have friends betting on these. I threw a couple bones on Anthony Richardson, and of course he left in the first drive. But don't overreact. You're going to see things that are going to make you question your draft picks. I remember when, just to give a couple examples, when Jamar Chase was a rookie, there was a lot of examples of him dropping balls in practice, dropping balls in preseason, and he goes out as like the freaking best rookie wide receiver season of all time. So
let's get into these rankings, huh?
Yeah. So once again, we're going to do quarterbacks and tight ends. We're going to get through the tight ends first because
get them out of the way.
Yeah, who cares? We want to make you guys stay to watch the quarterbacks anyway. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through. We each have our own individual rankings, which you won't be sharing. Maybe we'll throw them up on the screen or not.
If we remember them, we might throw it out like, well, I had him here. But...
Right. But these are going to be our consensus rankings, and then we're going to talk about maybe a couple notable tight ends that we just want to talk about or we have some difference of opinions on. But for tight ends, we're going to go just the top 15 because I really don't feel like there's any reason to go beyond that number. In most situations, you're going to be only getting 1, maybe 2 tight ends in really any league. So I'm just going to roll through the names.
You're going to go 15-1?
Yeah, I'll go 15-1. And then we'll just kind of, after we can talk about a few that either we have some opinions on or just want to talk about. So starting at 15, we got Dalton Kincaid. God, he was ass when I relied on him. Was that last year? Yeah, I think he had a lot of hype going into last year.
Knox just won't go away.
Yeah, and he's just not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
I mean, 15 tight end.
Yeah, and not to just stop on one person, but 15 Kincaid, 14 Tyler Warren, great preseason game. 13 Hunter Henry, who had a couple big games with Drake May last year. So
yeah, that's why I kind of snuck him in there because I do think there's a little bit of upside. He's reliable.
Yeah, touchdown guy around the red zone too.
Yeah, big target, and I think he could be a nice safety blanket for Drake May.
We got Colston Loveland.
Mm-hmm.
Colston Loveland, the tight end for Chicago at 12, and then 11 Jake Ferguson, 10 Mark Andrews, 9 Tucker Kraft, 8 David Njoku, 7 Evan Ingram, 6 Travis Kelce, 5 TJ Hawkinson, 4 Sam Laporta, 3 Trey McBride, 2 George Kittle, and number 1 Brock Bowers. Right off the bat, who do you just want to talk about?
I want to talk about Kittle, but I will throw in. I was a little. We were pretty much the same here. I mean, I had Kraft 3 spots higher. He is a guy that I've No, I've taken it. I took him. I didn't take a tight end in the other mock. Remember?
You took him in our mock.
I
The
took him in
channel.
our mock
Yeah.
on the channel. I think he's
got big play potential.
big play
A
potential.
guy that could actually like break a couple tackles.
I was gonna say he's a break and tackle guy, and I don't know. I like that Love he's kind of like he reminds me a little bit of Baker, where they just like they say F it and they just throw the ball. Like they're airing it out. So I like Kraft having some value there.
Yeah, like you said, I had him at 10 and you had him at 7. I don't really disagree with anything you said. I'd be fine taking him. Like put him with like the group of Loveland and Warren in those late maybe Ferguson, throw him in there. Those are like 4 guys that I would, Ferguson 2 years ago, he was pretty good. And then last year was kind of just threw it away because Dak was gone. But
yeah, Ferguson's his games where Dak has played significantly higher as opposed to when it was Cooper Rush or whoever they threw out there.
Right. So Bowers, Kittle, McBride, we talked about them on the channel before. Of just kind of, they're going to be the ones going early. I know you have Kittle at 1 versus maybe most people I would say would have Bowers at 1. So what's the difference between them there? Just talk a little bit about where they're going in drafts and why you like Kittle more.
Yeah, I mean, 1 to 2. It's not that huge of a difference. I went with Kittle purely because they lost Debo. Ayuk's out. They don't really have. Demarcus Robinson might even be suspended if I remember.
There's
that
something
correctly.
going on with him.
He had like a DUI, so I think that's the situation. I think losing their weapons, obviously Ayuk out first. I think he's going to start the season on PUP, so he's going to be out at least the first 4 games. Ricky P, obviously not really proven. The Demarcus Robinson possible suspension, and then with Bowers, it's like. I still think he's going to be 1 or 2, but I do think it's just a little strange to me. You got a new quarterback, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. So, like, if it's going to be a completely different scheme, maybe they just switch things up a little bit. I don't know. I think last year it was just give the ball to Brock, and that was it. But now, getting Genty in there, maybe the scheme's going to be a little different. I mean, he's still in my top 2, but I just went with Kittle purely I think they're going to need Kittle more. Whereas like the rate, maybe. If CMC's cracked, then.
But. I think for Bowers, Kittle, McBride, where last year, I talked about this already in our kind of offseason recap episode, but last year there was a lot more question marks, I think, going into, the top tight ends with Laporta finishing 2023 as the number 1 tight end. It seemed like there was just a conglomerate of just whatever tight ends. This year, I think there's the clear 3
of big word.
Conglomerate. You like that? Bowers, Kittle, McBride. I think you can make a case for any one of those guys to finish number 1.
Yeah.
And I think all of them are pretty equal. I don't really see Bowers being that much better, than McBride, than Kittle. I don't see Kittle being that much better than Bowers, McBride, and etc. McBride only had 2 touchdowns last year. So maybe they use him similar to how they did last year, but maybe add 5 touchdowns onto that. Mm-hmm. So I think those 3 are kind of in their own tier, and then we can kind of drop down after.
Hopefully not. Come on, Marv. We need more targets.
We love Marv here. Okay, that's it for tight ends, right? Can we just skip to the fun part?
Next.
Yeah, next. So same thing for quarterbacks.
The beginning's not that fun with these guys.
We're going to rattle off all 32, or at least our top 32. And then we have some differences here for sure that we want to talk about, and then maybe just throw in a couple guys if we want to, maybe guys we haven't talked about yet. But we'll start with quarterbacks. Number 32, we got Shuck or Shaw. I'll figure that out after this episode, probably.
Good luck, buddy.
And then Joe Flacco, 31. 30, Russell Wilson. Let's ride for the Giants. Just can't wait to see him there. 29, Aaron Rodgers. Talked about him a lot. 28, Anthony Richardson, my boy. Rest up, get better again.
Tape it up.
I think I need to be slap silly of him. He was, for context, he was my keeper. We play in a league with 2 quarterbacks. We get to keep 1 player based off of where we drafted them. So I drafted him his rookie year fairly. I think it was like the 9th or 10th round or something like that. Obviously, the potential was there. I kept him last year. He really just didn't do much for me. And I think I'm kind of with the fantasy community here as we want to see him do well because of his athleticism. Kind of like, I don't want to say Josh Allen-esque, but
he's a big boy.
Yeah, just can't
got a motor on him.
Just can't figure it out with the accuracy, staying on the field. Come on, AR. I'm rooting for you. 27, Sam Darnold. Hell yeah. 26, Michael Penix. 25, Matt Stafford. Then we'll just go Geno Smith, Cam Ward, Tua, your guy, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, JJ McCarthy at 18, Caleb Williams 17, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, CJ Stroud, Drake May, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Bonix, Patty Mahomes at 9. When was the last time we saw that? Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, and then the big 5, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Obviously, a lot of info there, a lot of names. The first one we wanted to talk about as we were kind of going through this, looking at the differences, you have CJ Stroud at number 9.
Got him at 9.
And I have him at 18.
Yeah, he obviously didn't look good last year. There was several games where I remember watching. I'm just like, this is gross decision making. But I do think for whatever reason, no one brings up he had nobody out there.
Right.
There probably was games where Mixon wasn't there, Tank wasn't there, or Nico wasn't there. And then
just one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But several times it was just one of them. So I think he does find his way back to the 2023 form, his rookie year, where I think he was around this number, maybe like top 10 or borderline
around
top
that.
10.
Yeah.
They also got a new offensive coordinator, so maybe new scheme, fresh set of plays for him.
Right.
And I mean, I think the talent is there. I mean, he showed his rookie
year.
year.
I like Stroud.
He was sick in college.
Yep. I don't think so. When it comes to Stroud, I don't think it's more an indictment on him. There's just a lot of guys I think above him that I'm more excited about. With that being said, I have him at 18. I got a couple guys over him. Fields is probably one where I think might be a hot take, where I just think where we've talked about in the past, like even off camera, quarterbacks that are pocket passers, like their ceiling, they have to be good to kind of reach that ADP or reach that value that you pick them in drafts. Like Joe Burrow is the best example. The year he had last year, where he's throwing touchdowns left and right, not running, he has to get 40 touchdowns pretty much to return that ADP. And so CJ Stroud, you see what happens in a year where he doesn't do that. He was not really good last year, not really usable.
He can run though.
He can, but he doesn't really show it that much. So I got Fields ahead of him. There's other guys I'm excited for, Caleb Williams.
That's a board bet right there. There's just no shot.
Fields versus Stroud?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll put it on the board for next one for sure. I got 2 Jets up there. That seems like a big problem. But Caleb Williams with his new offense, I'm more excited for. Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Drake May, I like. Once again, May showed a little athleticism running around. So I'd like to just have that little bit of extra oomph in the fantasy points, I guess, with rushing quarterbacks. I say that I have Jared Goff pretty high, but I just like
Mahomes,
yeah. I don't know. Where Mahomes has been the past few years, I think he's way lower. So I think he's appropriately priced, like with those like Baker, Dak, Patrick Mahomes, like those pocket passers, like that are below those rushing quarterbacks. So I don't dislike CJ Stroud, but I'm just more excited about the situations of a few guys above him, and then just kind of that little more upside with the rushing. That being said, if you're playing in a 1 quarterback league, would you be happy with CJ Stroud as your guy? Because he's going to be going pretty late, I think, because you're going to be able to get him a lot later than most of these guys.
I mean, I love him as my QB too.
Right. Once again, we play in a super flex league where we play 2 quarterbacks, so we'll probably reference that a lot during the year, but we'll definitely throw in references for 1 quarterback leagues as well.
I mean, yeah, once I get to even 7, 8, 9, 10, like, am I thrilled? Like, no, not really.
Because I know other positions.
I know there's 6 other teams that have a better quarterback than me. So, but yeah, I think he'll have a better year than last year.
Hopefully Nico stays healthy.
If I'm happy as his is my quarterback 1, I can't really say that. I guess time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely feel more comfortable with probably, well, Yeah, I mean, the guys in my own rankings, obviously the 8 guys ahead of him I'd be more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
But our consensus, I think I would rather have him over, honestly, even May, just because May was
I'm okay with that.
May was a rookie last year, so
Yeah.
it's kind of still like prove it to us that you can be a consistent fantasy starter.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not thrilled if that's my one quarterback, but
you see him having more of a bounce back year
yeah, for sure.
than last year. Got it. So Jared Goff is another one. Talking about pocket passers that I wanted to talk about. So I have an 11. You have him at 17.
Yeah.
I think going off the last couple years, I mean, Ben Johnson is gone. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing to where, I mean, Goff will obviously have his games where he just looks terrible. Whether it be just full games or just certain drives or certain decisions that he makes. I mean, he's not that athletic of a dude, but it's just more so the Lions, like we're talking about fantasy here. So do I want Jared Goff as my quarterback to lead my team to the Super Bowl? That is a different question. But once again, Goff is going to be going way later in your draft. So if you want to load up on your skill position players, maybe get an Amon-Ra St. Brown and pair him with Goff later. Like I love that. That's a good stack that you can kind of shoot for in your drafts.
I like JMO too.
Sure.
I'm in on JMO.
Where that Lions offense, I don't think they're going anywhere. But as long as Goff, talking about needing to put up touchdowns to kind of bring your value, bring your ADP value, and kind of cash in on that pick, Goff's not going to cost you as much as a Burrow or a Baker even.
Yeah, I love the late round target QB.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Just a late option that, at a pinch, if you, like I said, if you want to load up on running backs and receivers, I think Goff is a solid quarterback to start your year off with, or just keep an eye on him for waiver wire as well. And I think in a super flex league, I would be thrilled to have him as my QB2 with some of the upside that he brings game in and game out. Because when the Lions are steamrolling people and they have a favorable matchup, Goff, once again, he's not the best quarterback.
Also, just keep passing.
But he can get it done. Yeah.
Like, even when they're dominating,
yeah,
I feel like there were games where they'd be up already 20, 24 points, and they were still passing.
There's just some games where you just don't watch. If you're red zoning every Sunday, you're gonna see the bad Jared Goff. But at the end of the season, I think you're gonna be just like where he was the last. He was a top 8 QB, I want to say, last year without looking. I think that's great for where he's going right now in drafts. Anyone else here you wanted to talk about / bring up? Kyler, you're on Kyler this year, right? You want to talk about him for a second?
Yeah, we're only a few spots difference, though.
I'm not to say that it's different. I just know that he's a guy that you've been kind of looking at. You're in on Marv. I think you're kind of looking for that offense to take.
I mean, honestly, the perfect way to explain it for me is you were so down on him.
Me?
It was so ugly last year.
Yes.
And he was still,
because I watched,
and he was still a QB1.
Yeah, he finished QB10 in our league.
So, he has said that he's watched Lamar's tape and he sees...
That's an insane quote.
That he needs to run more.
Shit.
I mean, if we get that, I love it.
Right. We'd like a little bit more running from Kyler. We'd love a little more of a connection with Marv. Just use him more. Just give him a chance. Throw it up.
I think it's consistency because I think you brought it before where they'll look great.
Yeah.
And then it's just wait, why can't you just copy and paste next week?
It was always just what Kyler are you getting this week?
Yeah.
It seemed like when I had him on my team last year, I had him and Baker as my two guys, and where Baker was very consistent and where he might see a little bit of regression this year, Kyler, I'm just all right, what Kyler am I getting this week? Who are they playing? I was never excited to just keep throwing him out there, especially we bring up Connor, Kyler, Marv, Trey McBride, all these guys that are exciting fantasy players, and that offense was just the opposite of that. Very unexciting. Hopefully they change something up this year. Same coach, same offensive coordinator. I want to see that team do well, because that means everyone that's taking all their fantasy guys, they have more fantasy guys, I think, than other teams. So
we each have Dak instantly just in that top 10 right back.
Yeah, I mean, adding Pickens, I think him and CD, I'm excited for them, honestly. Going into last year, I was pretty high on Dak for how he finished the 2023 season. Him and CD, just their connection, I think, is one of the top sacks in the league that you can get.
CD got cracked, by the way. Go watch that if you didn't.
Yeah, that was insane.
Just
Don't want to see
standing there.
In the preseason game, he got nailed by a ref running down the
and
sideline.
he got flagged for it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he got a penalty.
Jesus. But no, I like Dak. Same thing with he's kind of a more expensive Goff in my mind, where, you know, another pocket passer, but 2 years ago he's coming off a QB top 5 season with CD. So, and they're still not going to be able to run the ball. So that's
would you rather have a Dak CD stack or a Goff Amon-Ra stack?
I think Dak. I think as far as stacks in the league, I think Burrow and Chase is number 1. I think Dak CD is the second best that you can get. Just kind of looking off the top of my dome here, where Amon-Ra is pretty safe. He doesn't really have that many boom games. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown on my team last year as well. He's just a super solid PPR option, super safe, very consistent. But CD, Chase, like those are the guys that give you like 30 plus. And when you basically, if you're calling your shot on Burrow, if you're calling your shot on Dak, you might as well stack them up with one of their top guys and just
also
double down.
If you don't get the top guy, right, you don't get CD and you don't get Chase. You also got Higgins and adding Pickens, so it's just like
right. I think Pickens standing alone as a fantasy option, I'm not too excited about. I think he definitely helps Dak and the offense out more, because CD's the alpha there. I don't think we've seen a wide receiver 2 with Dak be super relevant across his career.
CD was good last year despite having an absolute awful quarterback.
As we were kind of getting back into the rankings, I didn't realize that CD was still a top 10 receiver, Dak being gone half the season with your other guy, Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I mean,
you talked about Knicks before.
Talked about Knicks. I have him dropping out of my top 10 this year. He had a bonehead play in the Niners game where he gave up a safety. He just kind of threw the ball. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, I think I had him, I think it was like 14, and you had him in your top 10.
Yeah, I still have him in the top 10. Once again, like I love the running capabilities he brings. That's definitely, like, for a quarterback. I mean, we've talked about this. Both of us love the rushing quarterbacks, I think, more than just the standard pocket passers. I just like their trajectory. I
think it was purely just for me, that touchdown number, I think, comes down.
Yeah.
And I think if that's more close to 21 instead of 26 or 27, however many he had, that could just be a difference right there in those top 10 spots.
Just looking through the list here, I mean, we've talked about the top guys a lot: Lamar, Josh Allen, Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. I think those guys are in a tier of their own. Talked about Dak. What about Herbo? I know you loved him coming into last year. They've added Keenan Allen.
Herbert's always been a guy that I enjoy watching play football more than I actually like fantasy.
Because of his talent?
Yeah, which obviously we don't care about that. We care about fantasy. But I just think he's 4-year college guy, came in his rookie year and just looked like he was going to be a stud. He's got a good arm. I like his build as like an actual NFL quarterback more so than I would like. That's my number 1 quarterback in fantasy. I mean, I think I either had him right where we have him consensus or like give or take 1 or 2 spots. So it's not like I'm out on him. It would basically be similar to a Stroud situation where like I'm not thrilled that that's my 1 quarterback if I'm in a 1 quarterback
more of a streamer option in a 1 quarterback league.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played 1 quarterback leagues, and like if I nail my draft and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm good on receiver, I'm good on running back, I'll take a second quarterback, especially if I look at other teams.
Want to mix the matchups.
Yeah,
for sure. No, I don't hate that. Usually in a 1 quarterback league, if you get one of, a solid guy, it's always nice to get a high upside guy later. Maybe like one of the rookies or Anthony Richardson, or 2 is pretty low. Bryce Young's pretty low. He had a really strong end of last year. As much shit as I give Bryce Young, he had a couple really good games to end the season last year.
He ended with like a 40 banger.
Yep.
40 something points. I think he had 5 touchdowns.
You just look at storylines of offenses and like, is this where the Dolphins, they're kind of like looking down a little bit, but the Panthers, they drafted a 1st round receiver. They're on the uptick a little bit. That's what I kind of look for with like the later names. What are the offenses looking like? What are their situations looking like? Can someone eventually, Fields, once again, bringing up Fields, I have him ranked pretty high, but he'll definitely be a guy I would love to take in a one quarterback league as of my second quarterback, just to kind of see where he ends up. Maybe because he's coming off 2 years ago where he was super valuable for fantasy when his last year in Chicago. So
I think he's the one guy looking at the consensus where we could be 12 spots off on that, and he could be a top 10 quarterback. Yep. Whereas I feel like the other guys, like I thought about Purdy too. I mean, 2 years ago, Purdy was like QB 4 or 5. Obviously, he had all his weapons, but right. I think he finished just outside like top 10, top 12-ish last year. He's another guy where I don't know if you were higher on him or if I was. I think I was a little bit lower, but I think he's also another guy that
I had him at 17. So kind of just that mid tier, like
I probably had him like at 15.
Next to Love, next to Caleb, next to McCarthy.
I think he's another guy too, where I mean, we've heard it all off season. Niners got a cupcake schedule.
Yep.
We were just looking at teams that were favored in games, and Niners are favored in 16 games. Obviously, that'll change as we get more info on like teams' defense on a week-to-week basis, and maybe the team you thought would be terrible, they're actually having a good record or something like that. But I think he's another guy too that I can see being closer to that top 10 than we have him closer to 20.
For sure. Just looking through the names here, just trying to see if we can talk about anyone.
We have the same top 6, by the way.
Yeah. Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Daniels, Hurts, and Baker. Cam Ward, we just talked about him.
I was going to mention him
in the news. Looked good. Like, I'm just looking at like what are some late round guys that we can look at that we can take a shot on, a second guy to throw on our bench, or like maybe as our quarterback 2 in a super flex. What's the line of a guy that you'd be okay with having as your quarterback 2, I guess is what I'm trying to figure out here. Like Geno's gross. Stafford literally has only a few games left in his career, it seems like. Penix I don't want. Darnold I don't want. Cam Ward you might be able to talk me into.
I think that's the line.
It's always the what if, with the rookies. I mean, their weapons aren't that exciting, but we just saw this with brought up CJ Stroud. Them going into that year, their offense was ranked near the bottom, and that's when kind of Nico, Tank Dell, everyone on that team kind of broke out.
Yeah, and that was like Nico's 3rd year in. Like his first 2 years wasn't. I
just looked at his Football Reference, and first 2 years he had like 400 receiving yards, and then jumped up to over 1,000 with Stroud. So I would keep an eye on Cam Ward, especially if a couple of these guys start out hot. You don't want to definitely make room for them on your bench. 2 is pretty low. I'm not excited about 2 at all, honestly. It seems like going back to last year, I was talking about this with a couple of buddies too. The league might have just figured out how to put a top on their offense with Waddle and Hill. We really didn't see too many deep bombs last year where we did in 2023. Not just Tyreek, but Jalen Waddle's a big play guy too. And just the check downs from Tua to Achane don't excite me that much. Just watching.
I love it if you got Achane.
I love Achane, like standing alone. We've talked about him off camera a lot. We'll talk about him more on our next episode with the running backs and receivers. But once again, the trajectory, like how are these offenses looking going into the year? Do they have a green arrow pointed up or a red arrow pointed down? I would say the Dolphins are kind of just one thing goes wrong there, and it might be McDaniel might be fired.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like so it's just, I don't know, a little questionable there in Miami. That's all I got, unless
No, I think that's good.
I feel like we talked about all the top guys in nauseum so far.
I think all those guys from after your tier 1 guys, I'm fine with any of those guys as my QB too. I think even expanding it to like 20, Trevor, sure.
You wouldn't do that.
We'll see.
Specifically.
I wouldn't, but BTJ.
Most people would, I think.
Yeah. With obviously Hunter coming in, maybe there's something there, like a little bit of playmaking added for him. And even like Bryce, I feel like we should have Ward above Tua. So I feel like we're not very not in on Tua.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
hard. It's hard to put the rookies up there, especially if we haven't seen it yet. I'm not like too excited about this Titans offense. If they had more exciting weapons, like Pollard, Calvin Ridley, doesn't excite me that much. But not to say that Cam Ward can't do anything with that. But I think he's properly rated, right in that.
Maybe your boy AR will jump in there.
That's a tough one, man. I don't even
or
know.
Dimers.
Yeah, we didn't even have him on here, and we didn't even talk about him in the preseason game, but he looks okay. He's just a Band-Aid quarterback. You throw him in when someone gets hurt. I feel like he's just a solidified backup now. And with Richardson, like we've seen, last year, we were just looking at his fantasy finishes last year. Last year, first week, he had 28 points versus Houston, 250-plus yard passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown where he runs over 8 people on the goal line to get in. We just need to see him put it together for a full season. And honestly, I mean, I got the jersey on. He's going to cost nothing, to finish off talking about the quarterbacks here. Talk about a guy that you pick your quarterback and you're looking for a second guy to just throw on your bench. I think he's kind of the clear guy to see what happens. And then if he's hurt or gets put on the IR, just cut him. And
that's
like
that's
you're
an
wasting
easy decision.
It's not like you're wasting a pick.
Yeah, that's an easy decision. I like doing that too. You draft a high upside guy, 2 weeks. You don't see anything, 3 weeks. If you want to be generous, just get rid of him. Doesn't hurt anything. It's going to be a waiver running back that everyone's trying to get, or a receiver, or even like another quarterback. Like I would drop him for a bigger name quarterback goes down or something like that, and that team needs a quarterback. I would try and get whatever is the best available instead of keeping that. It's more of a defensive thing to block whoever needs that quarterback.
Sure.
Like if Richard hasn't done anything, just let him go. Doesn't hurt anything.
Okay, that's all we had today. So we got the wall. We're still getting used to editing.
Yes.
But trying to improve every time. But yeah, just to close it out, we got the wall. I'm pretty sure like from show to show, we're going to be just putting new stuff up here. Give us some ideas.
A little
Throw in the
neon
comments.
sign, maybe.
Yeah, a little sign, little
jerseys,
little shelves with whatever on them. We're going to be pimping this thing out. That's it for today. We got the running backs and receivers on. That'll be posted.
That'll be a juicy one.
Yeah, it'll be posted on Thursday. So we won't have too much preseason to talk about there. So we'll talk more in depth about the running backs and receivers as we get in there. But
yeah, that'll be good.
That's all we got. Drafts are coming up.
I didn't even mention. I got my Jaden jersey on.
Send it. You're welcome.
He's another guy. I can see him going top 2 quarterback.
We'll get a board bet in there for Jaden. Jaden versus
We'll get
Baker.
that one up there.
Jaden versus Baker.
Oh yeah, instant. All right, y'all. Peace.
Come on, AR. Stay healthy.